Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Miss Lady CC, two leaders in purpose. Who is the leader? It is you, and me. We are all leaders in purpose. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we go on, we want to go ahead. We want to introduce our guest, the Clarity Doctor.
Yes.
Go ahead and say something, a little something today, and then we'll go ahead and do a moment of silence for our ancestors, and a couple other things. We'll get on with the show. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Moore, aka the Clarity Doctor. I help coaches, consultants, therapists, creatives, and culinary professionals go from blaming to blooming and from excuses to execution by creating a clear, concise, and compelling vision statement.
Fantastic. He said creating a clear, concise, and compelling
Yes.
vision statement. That says a whole lot, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Before we get into this young man and hear about those clear, concise, compelling vision statements, let us go ahead on and give our ancestors some love and a moment of silence for those who have, as well as in our give a moment of silence for the Marines whose birthday was on the 10th, 250 years, and for Veterans Day for all those who are alive and who have transitioned on, which was the 11th. So let's give a moment of silence, please. Great, 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 great. And then we want to remind you about checking yourself before you wreck yourself. And what that means is you get out your codes of your codes of conduct, your morale, your courage, your integrity, your words of encouragement to yourself, and you go down each line. And if you follow that line or follow that law, like for instance, with the 42 laws of Ma'at, it says, I will not lie. If you did not lie, go ahead and give yourself the biggest hug in the whole wide world. But if you did tell what they say, one of them white, yellow, black, or green lies, honey, today, honey, what you do is you picture yourself doing it the right way. Picture the positive effect on yourself, the positive effect on others, and you still give yourself the biggest hug in the whole wide world. That way, when you come across it again, guess what? You will do it right then at that time. Okay, go down your list, whether it's 12 or whether it's 42, like the 42 laws of Ma'at, or it's 12, like or whether it's 10, like the 10 commandments. Go down and check yourself before you wreck yourself, morning, noon, and night. Next, we're going to do some grounding real quick. And I learned this from a psychologist friend, where we just do some tapping. Just tap the top of your head. Just tap. Tap the inside of your eyes. Just tap. Tap underneath your nose. Tap your chin. This is a grounding technique. It's going to feel great after you get through. Tap them shoulders. Tap up and down your rib cage. Tap your palm, your wrist, palm side up and palm side down. And then go ahead, tap your body from the top, from your waist all the way down to your feet, and all the way up in between, all the way down up in between, and just shake it out. That's just a grounding technique where you feel so good. Woo! I feel great.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Now we're going to talk to the Clarity Doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
Clarity Doctor. Now I want you to tell us a bit about yourself, but when you think about the word clarity, clarity means clear, precise, be able to know and see through details. Details. Why you call yourself the Clarity Doctor?
Well, the main reason was because of my own journey. As always, people have their own story. They have their own things that they went through or go through. And so it actually started, I was working with a coach, and after I was telling her what I did when helping people with their vision, she was like, oh, you're the Clarity Doctor. And so it stuck with me. And so I was just really explaining her how I used to blame my father because he was absent from my life. So everything bad that happened was his fault because he should have been there. So I thought. But then as I grew older and then I saw him in his casket after he had passed away, I'm crying. Tears were just flowing out my eyes. And I'm like, well, why am I crying? And then I clearly heard God just say in my spirit, you're crying because you don't have him to blame. And that just shook me. And then it was like, now let him go, release him. And then I heard, write the vision, make it plain. And when you read it, you will run.
Oh, wow.
And so I sat down, I wrote myself a vision statement, and I embraced it. I embodied it. I believed it. Key, because you got to believe it. You can't
Yes.
just write it down and then not be in agreement or have the belief. So I was able to do both of those because it was something that I was passionate about when I wrote that statement down. And when my life just shifted, I said, oh, I got to do this for other people.
Okay.
So then that's when I started the Clarity Doctor Coaching and Vision Writers Global.
Wow, wow. Now, how many years have you been doing this? And do you have
7 years.
7 years? 7 years. And your background sprang from that, sprang from your childhood issue with your father.
Right.
Wow.
That's why I started it.
Wow. Wow. So, you said you deal with, work with faith-based individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Why just faith-based?
Because normally they're the ones who can receive what I have to say.
Okay.
The principles are scriptural, so they're not going to have, for the most part, a challenge with what is being shared with them. Now, I'm not quoting scriptures or stuff like that, but it's a spiritual journey.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I heard something the other day where they said we can make ourselves look, but we can't make ourselves see. That's a spiritual thing. Like, your eyes have to be enlightened. You have to have a revelation. I mean, you can look at something and it won't look like anything to you until you've been enlightened, and then you can see it. You can look at it, but you can't necessarily see it. So.
Until that third eye is open. Okay.
Basically.
Okay. Cool. Cool. And he said, you're on your website, theclaritydoctor.com. It says, the Clarity Doctor Business Coaching and Consulting can take you on a transformative journey in entrepreneurship that results in a personal and professional life enhancement. So you mainly deal with being in business.
Right, because my belief is that every one of us is an entrepreneur of some sort. We solve problems. That's all we do our whole life is solve problems. So we are entrepreneurial in nature. We're enterprising. And so because of our enterprising nature, we have the ability to create solutions and make money.
Yeah, it's true.
We can make money.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. It says, what's there? The scripture says that talks about when you learn, your gifts will make room for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. It says, as a Clarity Doctor, I specialize in helping faith-driven entrepreneurs break free from past limitations, sharpen their vision, and take decisive action towards success. Now, break free from past limitations. Like, what are some things that are limiting us in our minds, in our mind, body, and or soul? You're talking about like generational curses, or like, what are you talking about?
So that's exactly it. Really, the bottom line is belief. So we'll let situations that happened years ago, and we will still let that thing that happened 20, 30 years ago, we'll still let it hinder our vision of what we can become.
Yeah, that's true.
Constantly rehearsing what happened yesterday and what happened last month and what happened last year, what happened 10-year-olds, what the ex-husband did, what the ex-wife did, what the old boss did. Like, keep rehearsing it. And as long as you keep doing that, you're constantly reliving emotionally that situation. So you never heal. You never heal because you keep bringing it up to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that becomes a big shadow over, or a scale over your eyes, where you can't even see the possibilities in your life.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can't even see them. Overshadowed.
That's true. That's true. We do that. Let the generational curses, let the past hurts and and heartaches and just live them over and over and over again. And we when we try to let go of them, something to trigger us, and boom, they're there again. So you help us to get rid of those,
Right.
recognize those triggers, and get rid of that baggage forever.
Get rid of the trigger where it's no longer even a trigger. So that means you have to face it. And you have to release blame. That's why I talk about going from blaming to blooming. Because anytime you blame anything, that thing that you're blaming has power over your decisions and over your ability to change.
Even yourself.
Even yourself. So you can't even blame yourself.
What do we do with that blame?
You don't blame. You
okay.
you don't blame.
Okay.
It's no one's fault. And I think that's our biggest thing. We grew up in a culture where everyone wants to point the finger. You're the reason why this, like I did with my dad. You're the reason why this. You're the reason why that. It's your fault. Blame, blame, blame. That's energy that we could be using to transform our lives. Instead of focusing on why you didn't do what you were supposed to do, which even with that, we can't put our expectations on someone else.
No, we can't.
They have their own expectations. So even as a parent, we can't expect our parents to do right. We might want them to, but they have every right to choose not to.
Yeah.
And we can't live our lives blaming and upset because they chose not to do right by us as children.
Right.
We have to move away from, well, just like I got a choice, so did my parents.
Right. And that's the same with our children. As parents, we can't expect our children to do this, to be this, to have this. Like you have a lot of parents who they want to leave something for their children, and they
Right.
want their children to take it over, and their children choose not to, and
They don't want to.
leaves a lot of hurt.
Right.
It leaves a lot. So we have to get rid of things like that. We have to get rid of expectations, don't we?
Absolutely. And I tell my clients, like I said, if you're faith-based, there's only two expectations. Expect yourself and expect God. Because those God has already said what he gonna do,
Right.
and he cannot lie.
Right.
So you can expect, and then for ourselves, we have to have integrity in our words, so that gives our word power. So when we say something and we do it, that gives our word power in the universe and powers in the world.
Right.
Because when you say something, they're like, oh, she said it. We know it's going to get done. Because she has integrity in her word. Her word is powerful. Her word is bond. Her word means something. So when we build that up inside of ourselves, then we can learn, oh, I know that when I say I'm going to do something, I can expect myself to do it. Which then means we got to be slow to say what we're going to do.
Exactly. Slow to speak and quick to hear.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
That's it.
And that also deals with integrity, letting our actions and our words line up.
Absolutely. And that's that alignment I talk about in one of my books. It's called The Alignment Journal. And the 7 alignments. So aligning your heart with your mouth. Aligning your heart with your actions. Aligning your mouth with your actions. Like,
That's big.
Aligning your belief with your words. So don't say something you don't believe.
Right.
Because it's not going to have no power. So you'll find a lot of times, people are quoting and saying affirmations that they don't even believe. And they're wondering why they're not getting the result. Well, you don't believe it.
Yeah.
Stop saying it.
That's true. That's true.
All you're doing is frustrating yourself because nothing's going to happen until you believe it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm a healer and I heal people, and the people say, well, if you heal people, why don't you go to the hospitals and why don't you go to the, and I hear you. I hear that too. You hear me? But for myself being healed of let's say, for God healed me of fibromyalgia, and I had to say, I believe that I'm healed.
Right.
And even when the pain came up, I had to believe that I was healed.
Yeah.
Even when I couldn't hardly move, I had to believe
You had to keep
that
believing.
I was healed. And I couldn't let nothing be more powerful than the belief that
Come on now.
I am healed.
You better say that.
And so I was healed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You had to endure. You had to persevere.
Yeah.
And the other piece of that is you also, not only did you believe, but internally you had a vision
Oh yeah.
of that belief. You
Oh,
had a
definitely.
vision. You saw yourself being healed or healed. You saw what you were going to do once you were healed. You saw the life you were going to live. You saw
Yes,
it.
I did. I did. I had gotten hit by a car, and actually, I died and came back to life.
Wow.
And all 10 of my toes were broken. And I was told by the pastor not to come back to the church until I went into physical therapy. So it would take about 1 to 2 years to be in physical therapy. I said, "No, honey, there is healing in the house of the Lord, honey." I went to that church, and I went up and down them stairs with my toes hurting until God healed my 10 toes.
Baby.
It hurted, but I went up and down the stairs because I knew there was healing in the house
Come
of the
on.
Lord. And so
Amen.
I know what you mean. You do. You got to believe that you know that you know that you know. No
Come
matter
on
what
now.
you know that you know, it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I hear you. I believe. I believe that. I showed up. I told them I believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
You said using your signature process, the rapid clarity method, reach audience, plan, identity,
Pain.
reach audience, pain, identity, desired results. What is that?
So it's a framework that I use to write vision statements for people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. So those 5 pillars, we go through each one of those pillars and we have discussions, we talk about it, ask some questions, and they're able to get more clarity through those questions and through those sessions.
Okay, I hear you. And you said you guide faith-based therapists, counselors, coaches, consultants, and creators through a transformational journey that integrates both mindset shifts and tactical strategies. That lets me know. First of all, you're already working with professionals in the first place, so they have that grounding, that foundation, like you said. And then you said you use mindset shifts and technical strategies. Why can't you have one without the other?
Because you can't just give somebody a strategy without giving them the belief, the mindset change. So that's like giving somebody who's poor, positioned outside of rich, give them a budget and expect them to actually use the budget because they're poor in their mind.
Right.
So if you try to get a person who's poor or in their mind broke and tell them budget your money like this, they're going to look at you crazy because they're like, I don't have nothing else to do with my life but spend money.
Okay.
I'm unhappy. I'm lonely. I don't feel good about myself. So the only thing they got is money to spend.
Right. Right.
So every time the money comes in, it's going right back out because they're trying to heal themselves through spending.
Yes. Yes.
But if you deal with those, okay, well, why don't you feel good about yourself? What happened? Who are you blaming? You know, tell me about your childhood. We got to dig, which is where the therapists come in and their clients because they're doing the mental health. And then I come and do the post therapy transformation work.
Okay, post-therapy transformation work. Yes, that's very important. That's
Yes.
very important. And this also, when we go back to that real quick, that's why they say a lot of people who get money, like they win the lottery
Yep.
or they get a lot of money, that's why they go broke again because they have not put the mind, what you call it, the mind,
Mindset shifts. They have
mindset shifts with tactical strategies.
Yep. Because you got to walk that out. You got to start out with your major money belief. You know, what's your major, like for me, and this is something that I'm still working on, is realizing that I want money just to have it. Just to have it. No purpose, no real reason, just, oh, I want to have money. Got to have money. Got to have my money in my pocket. Money, 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 money. So then once it comes, because it never had a purpose, it's gone just as fast.
It's gone just as fast.
Because now I'm impulse spending. I'm spending on impulse. The money never really had a reason, so it's just gonna get spent.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's true. That's true. You said I assist private practice clients to go from blaming to blooming and from excuses to execution.
Right.
From excuses to execution. That's a big one.
I know.
That's why they say got more excuses than a thugs end up going to jail.
Wow. Yeah. For
That's
sure.
hard to do.
Yeah. And I think here's what the way I say it. I think in our culture, especially in schools, where we were trained and acclimated into society through schools, is if you did anything, miss school, if something happened, what did they tell you? Bring a note so that you could have an excuse. We learned that. All I need to do is come up with an excuse, and everything is going to be okay. You don't have to take accountability for whatever it is because I gave you an excuse.
Wow.
So now we come out of school, we go to college, and they're like, oh, we're not taking excuses. Some professors may, but we're still kind of got like an excuse culture. We go to these jobs thinking we can give our boss an excuse, and they're like, no, you're fired. And then now we messed up because all while growing up, they took excuses. How come now I'm adult, y'all don't want to take no excuses?
I never thought of it like that. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. From school, just bring us an excuse from home.
Yep.
Why you know, da da da.
Da da da.
Yeah. Wow. That's true.
Yeah. And so we gotta. So I teach, make progress, not excuses.
Make progress, not excuses.
So if you're gonna make something, make progress.
Make progress. And we have to hold ourselves accountable. Now, how do you teach us to hold ourselves accountable through an accountability partner? I heard you mention a journal.
So, majority is being self accountable because of your vision statement. So once your vision statement is written, you have to go through the process of, like I said, you have to believe it. You have to read it. You have to memorize it. You have to put it into your spirit. You have to put it into your subconscious. And you have to be excited about it. When's the last time anybody had to make you do anything that you were already excited about?
Oh, it didn't happen.
You didn't have to. That's, discipline comes with passion.
Yes.
Discipline comes with excitement. If I'm excited, I'm up an hour early.
Yes.
I can't wait. Christmas morning. You ain't nobody got to tell you.
Honey.
You're already excited. Yeah. So the excitement that you have for your vision statement is the thing that holds you accountable.
Okay, I hear you. Now, does the vision statement change or does it stay the same?
Stays the same. You might get more clarity, but it's the same. And which is what I've had people come and tell me, oh, my vision has changed. No, it hasn't. You just were never made up in your mind the first time. Or you don't want to discipline yourself. You just want to jump around.
Okay.
Because there are people like that. They're used to jumping around. They can't focus. They can't do one thing. They got to be doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Always want to, it's like being able to go step by step is difficult.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
I have that sometimes. Like, I don't want to go step by step. I want to skip around. But you got to, nope, let me go ahead and complete this step. Let me complete this next step. And let me keep. And so you have to settle yourself down and enjoy the steps. That's why people always say, life is a journey and not a destination. You set a destination, but the majority of our life is the journey. Because we may die before we ever get to the destination.
That's true.
But you want to set the destination to give you something to align yourself to.
Okay.
Because if you don't have anything to align yourself to, then you're scattered. You're all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. If you're tired of feeling stuck, struggling to dream big, or unsure how to turn your ideas into results, it's time to get the clarity, confidence, and direction you need to build the business and life you were meant for. If you're tired of feeling stuck, struggling to dream big, why do you think people struggle to dream big?
Back to belief.
Back to
belief. I mean, and to, not to simplify it, but everything boils down to belief. But then there's factors to why a person might not believe. One of them may be what their parents told them as a child.
Yeah.
You're no good. You'll never be nothing. Maybe it was an ex said, oh, you'll never be no good after I leave you. Ain't nobody gonna want you. Maybe it could have been the church telling you not to think more highly of yourself than you ought.
Yeah.
So how can you expect to do something big or do something great if supposedly you're not being humble?
Yeah.
If you're not doing, so you have to do it small.
Yeah.
In my minuscule, you can't really do anything great because then you might be thinking too much and you're such much.
Yeah.
You know, all these things are in people's head. And so now it's just like, oh,
And destruction comes before pride comes before destruction is what they tell you.
exactly. So you prideful. How am I prideful? Because I want to do something great in the world? Well, you don't need to be doing all that. Whatever.
Okay. Okay. That's wonderful. Let's see. Coach, consultant, confident, the Clarity Doctor, featured clients. And then you give some featured clients. So can you tell them more about your website there?
More about my
Yeah,
website.
tell about your website because this is the information that I read I got from the Clarity Doctor's website.
Right.
So,
ClarityDoctor.com
Clarity-
is where you can go.
Okay.
You can you can order one of my journals if you go to the books menu. You can book your appointment. Just very easy to navigate.
All right. And it looks like it is, Mr. Clarity Doctor.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
Clarity Doctor, I also know that you're a fantastic poet. You got it going on. You got it going on. Can you give us a taste of your poetry, please?
Okay. Let me see.
We got a few minutes.
We got a few minutes.
That's got a few minutes to go.
Oh, okay. Look at something. Fireflies.
Oh.
Fireflies. Flickering, flickering, flickering. Ferociously in the firelight. It was a firefight. Trying to escape the outstretched hands of those who would demand your light. Deep in the dark night, there was a shadow of a bat being swung by a man. Back and forth, he swings one last time, jumps off the swing set, the blood drips, and now he has to live the rest of his life with the pain of regret. He scores his first home run. The child goes wild. The sad, sad face of a lonely child, scanning the audience for his parents, but they're nowhere to be found. It's the same scene he's always seen, being seen over and over again in his mind. Images of where he has been. Ben speaks of a time past, but it also speaks of a container. Like your mind is a container for memories. Those memories, they continue to flash. Your daughter, you still can't contain her. Those memories, they continue to flash, drive down the street to buy another flash, drive corrupted by an angry and broken mother. The images that were stored, you would probably be abhorred, but it's her story. No longer impacted by his story. Angry parents who planted the virus, a seed in fertile ground, ready to bear fruit, the fruit of groundling bears who bear fruit, ready to give birth to it in our community. We continue to give birth to it. We kill babies and let the real virus run rampant. We huddle up in our networks just so we can establish our net worth. What's the virus? Unforgiveness.
Wow. So total. So total.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Boop, boop.
Okay, now. Yes. Just going back to even your poem and going back to your being the clarity doctor. And this is what I'm looking to see. I just went through some groups too at the VA, some groups too. It seems like our childhood is everybody's childhood is a reason why we're having these problems as an adult. Is that what you found out that that's the truth too? It starts off in the childhood.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. It's childhood. It's the environment that you were nurtured in.
Yes.
Environment and seed. Seed and environment. Seed, soil. And that soil is rotten, that soil is bad, that's going to determine the seed.
Yeah, that's true.
How it grows, what it grows, everything.
Yeah.
Even if it was determined to be something in specific, that soil is going to be in control of how it becomes and whether it becomes what that seed says it is. It could be an apple, but it could be rotten.
Wow, that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, y'all, that's the Clarity Doctor on Leaders in Purpose Lit Media with Miss Lady CC. Let's go ahead and give him some clap, honey. check out this episode. We want to thank Chris Craddock and Mike Wallace for being for KPAO, where we can come and have a good time and speak our mind. I know you got somewhere to be, so we're
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
go ahead on and close it up. And we want to thank you so much for being here, Mr.
Thank
Clarity.
you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.